It's 2 o'clock in the morning in a club in Bristol. The group's finished for the night, they've packed up and they're ready to go home. For them it means driving 150 miles through the night and then they'll sleep for what's left of it. Tomorrow, they're off to Lowestoft, off on the road again. Is it worth it?
I am a singer of songs, a writer of wrongs, a dreamer of sighs, a hater of lies.
Well, is it worth it? Every year, hundreds, yes, hundreds of brand new pop groups take to the road. Perhaps a local success at college, club or village level, they risk spending thousands on instruments, amplifiers and, of course, a van. Very few survive, but for some, a bit of brief glory. I met Affinity on the A4 at a transport cafe. They'd come 100 miles since breakfast, with many more to travel before they reached the club that booked them. During the day, any group or band have more in common with lorry drivers than the so-called glamour of the top 20. And like the lorry drivers, they've got a very tight schedule to keep.
As a group, we don't travel in comfort because there's 6 of us in the front of the van and it's terribly cramped.
It's my responsibility to do everything concerning the equipment and getting to the job on time, all that sort of thing.
You have to presumably then round them up.
Yeah, well, I get onto them on the telephone first, tell them to be ready. Then I go and pick them up in turn, you know.
Do you feel like the bully? I mean, do you have to bully them into getting them to places on time?
Oh, yes, I take it all out on them. Drive with the window open.
You can show them my sugar against that, right?
Oh, it wasn't me, that.
Affinity with Linda Hoyle.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
There seems to be an awful lot of hanging about involved. When you arrive at a gig, you set it up. You've then got to wait anything up to 4 or 5 hours to actually go on and play.
Well, that depends on how rich the group is. If the group's sort of a 5-star, £1,000 a job group, then presumably it travels sort of 4 or 5 hours later by Rolls Royce when the road manager's done his sort of work, you know. Otherwise, you have to sort of suffer the agonies of driving in the van and waiting, as you say, 4 or 5 hours before everything starts moving. Yeah, that's unpleasant.
And touring abroad is even tougher.
It was another 50 or 60 miles before we found a motel in which we could stay. It was 10 degrees below freezing. I really wanted my mother. One of our jobs, we were so poorly paid that we literally had to sneak bread and salads up to our room. And I was living off bread and cheese for about 2 weeks, most of us were, and the occasional piccalilli, and that was about it.
Financially, how well off are you? I mean, how worthwhile is it doing this sort of job?
Well, personally, I'm stony broke, but I suppose if you don't eat at all, you could save some money.
Well, how much do you earn a week, you personally?
Well, I suppose the same as all of us. We earn about between 15 and 20 a week when we're working in England. I've got a roadie that we pay £25. He's the best paid member of the group, gets £25 a week, and we all borrow from him. It's very, very difficult. So I think just from the discomfort point of view, I shall give it up. It's really, it's not the singing, it's just the agonies. I like working with men. That's the one aspect about the whole job that I enjoy, and I enjoy being with them.
Playing music and being in a group enables me and everybody else to live a very nice life.
It's okay, we're poor at the moment, but this did sort of supply us with the chance of possibly making big money when we're young.
The money just dissolves. It's not because we're losing it, it's just actually paying out things that we have to pay out for.
I've got a wife and 2 children. I sort of have visions of myself, if I do carry on indefinitely, of being 40, a mediocre musician, and nowhere to turn.
Just 2 hours later, it was all over, the audience gone. For Affinity, a tiny dressing room.
What are you all in it for? I mean, if you're only making 15 quid a week each, it's not a fantastic living.
It's for the glamour.
It's the glamour, yeah.
And the high life.
The point is, in the normal career, one gets big money when one's about 40. And I mean, that's too late.
You don't mind the lack of money at the moment?
No, but you know, the thing is that if the music's good, you know, if we're playing nicely, if we do a good set, everybody feels great, and it's really nice.
I mean, but we're very lucky. Most people work because they work to get money, whereas we are very lucky in being in a position where we are working, and we are doing something we absolutely love doing. I mean, playing it gives so much pleasure, and I mean it's so important. I think that the person should be happy in the work they do.
Well, things look really promising for Affinity, but after one good record, they've split. They were victims of life on the road. Linda was exhausted and had to give it up. She sings alone now. After just 2 years, the rest of the band have had to start again. But here's someone who spent the last 50 years carrying his whole world in bag and pocket.